Howdy, y'all. How's it going? So, within the past year, I started a job with Cargill Protein Processing in Camp Hill, and that is a meat processing plant. What we do is we do beef and pork products for Giant Food Store and Food Lion. So, I started working there. It didn't really feel like it was the right fit. I wasn't sure if this was the right job, but it was just like, just stick through it. We'll see where God takes us in this. And I kind of just gave everything to God, and I was like, work through me here. Um, so a few months went by, and I became the ground beef formulator. So I started making ground beef all day, and I started talking to my supervisor about church, and started talking to him about God, and just expressing how important that is, and just kind of like where I am in my faith, and he started sharing where he is in his faith, and expressing how he wanted to learn more about God. And through this, I gave him the green book, and I said, hey, you don't got to say yes, you don't got to say no, but it's an opportunity for us to get to know one another and to learn more about God together and to walk out life uh, as one. And he came back and he said, yeah, sure. Um, and so we've been discipling one another for the past couple of months. And amazingly, last month he took that declaration and got baptized in his church last month. So that was awesome to we have a picture of that, I do believe. There we go. There's Cody getting in there. And it was just kind of like he was on the fence on the decision, and he was like, I don't know. He's like, I've been baptized before, and they're like, this is like where I grew up. This is kind of like the mindset of what baptism was. And I'm like, dude, you're a new creation now. You're truly following God. It's like you're in a new house with a new church family. I was like, declare that to them. So he took the plunge, so to speak, and it was awesome to kind of just be there because we went to visit his church that day and watched him get baptized. And so it was cool to see that. So he's going to share a little bit via video that we have here about our discipleship. Awesome. Hi, Cody. All right, here we go.
Hi,
What is your name, sir?
I'm Cody Stoner.
Awesome. Hi, Cody.
Hi, how are you?
So, Cody, when it came to me coming to Grinds and asking you to be discipled, where was your mind whenever I gave you the green book?
Um, well, I was like, I'm finally gonna, go through with, learning more about Jesus and being where I should be religiously. Because I was kind of at a point in my life where I really didn't know 100% about, the work that Jesus did and even that much about the Bible. Now, growing up, I did go to church. We went to a Methodist church, but unfortunately that closed because it was an older population and, things happened. But then our church closed because of a lack of funds, and then I was kind of just out on my own. I was also living in Virginia at the time, so trying to find a church to start going down there was a little difficult as well as overwhelming for me because it was a new area. I knew literally nobody. There was a girl who I went to college with who was with me at the Cargill location I was at in Virginia, and her and I started going to a local Methodist church, and then COVID happened.
Mm.
So it really wasn't until I moved back up here about 2 years ago, um, well, almost 2 years ago, to where I actually, started wanting to go back to church and trying to find churches. And then here last, man, I believe November is when I started attending Harvest in Union County. And then the rest is kind of history.
Awesome. So, in our discipleship, um, have you felt as if you've grown closer to God, that you've been starting to learn more a little bit, and that you've had a little bit more guidance?
Yes, I definitely feel that I have had a lot more guidance and being able to talk to somebody about, the journey I'm going on and, just kind of some advice toward it did help a lot. I know, like, we would, talk about some scriptures here and there, and ones that you thought would be a good starting point to read through. As I started doing more of just, daily readings of the Bible.
Awesome. That's awesome. So you took a big step recently.
Yep.
Getting baptized.
Yep.
So what helped you come to that final step of declaring publicly that I'm living for Jesus and that this is the way I want to go?
Well, it all happened back in March. So back in March, I was going to pick up a skid loader for my father. Well, sorry, look for a skid loader for my father. And there was just a lot of emotions that day that didn't really pertain to the skid loader. It just, kind of happened. And the roads were absolutely horrible. And I don't know really what happened. I really can't explain, like, the feelings that I had, but, like, I was lost and frustrated, and then just bliss. I was talking to Jesus, praying, and then just out of nowhere, like, just bliss. And it felt like, that was the moment I was saved.
Wonderful.
Sitting along the side of the road in a pickup truck.
Sometimes it's in those places there that, we find Jesus.
Yeah.
So
I definitely wasn't expecting to find him in my truck on the side of a road in, horrible weather. But, I mean, the rest is history. Then kept going to church, and they were, talking more and more about, believers' baptism. And I was baptized before, but it was a lot different now that I had a saving faith in Jesus. And doing the believer's baptism, that just felt a whole lot different, and to me it kind of meant a lot more, because when I was standing in that pool before going under, I was like, wow, I'm actually at this point, I'm about to, go under and come back up, in the name of Jesus. And it was just one of those things that I was like, I thought at one point I would get to that step, but it came a lot sooner than I had ever thought it would be.
do you think discipleship helped with that a lot?
I definitely do, because other than, just going to church and reading by myself, it actually kind of helped, to have a lot more, I guess, guidance and advice toward, what steps to take next of, reading in our discipleship in general, as well as, going to get baptized. Because, I mean, I told you and you were ecstatic, as well as I was. But it also kind of helps a lot, too, because, like, my church is an hour and a half away. And it kind of helps to still kind of have that church body type feeling and mentality, even though I'm not as close to mine as, some people are.
Yeah. Awesome. And that's the cool thing. That's just what discipleship is living life together. So
Yeah, and it is really great. And I mean, ever since I did the discipleship with you, I'm starting to, see more people that are, either in the same scenario I am with discipleship and had followed the same steps that I kind of did, or ones that are kind of looking, to learn more about Jesus.
there you go, man. Now it's time for you to go and make disciples too.
Yes, sir.
There you go, buddy. So now I have a little bit of a call to action for you guys. And I urge you to go out anywhere, whether it be here in church, whether it be at work, whether it be just someone in the grocery aisle. Mine so happened to be at work. But taking that step of faith and actually stepping into discipleship with somebody that's not in like a close-knit circle, it can be terrifying. I was nervous to hand that book off to Cody, but as you can see, God works, and he made this relationship possible. So go forth and make disciples.